Hi, I'm Cynthia Cartwright with Corcoran Global Living, and I'm here today with Andrea Beach-Greco from CMG Financial. She is one of my lender partners. So I'm here today to talk to her about some things that are kind of going on in the market. And the biggest question I'm getting is it a crash or a correction? And we're both, I think, getting this question a lot. So what I feel is it's a correction. Let's keep in mind the last couple of years was pretty crazy. We spent 2 years with under a month's supply of inventory, and now we have about a 4-month supply of inventory, which really is not a lot of homes. That's still considered a seller's market. But the big difference is there are a lot less buyers out in the marketplace due to the rise in interest rates and inflation fears. So there's less that they can afford. So there are less buyers out there currently buying right now.
Yeah.
So Andrea, what I wanted to talk to you today about is we're hearing all this about recession.
Yes.
We don't know if we're actually in a recession right now. Some say we are, some say we aren't. But if things continue on the current path and we go into a recession or into a deep recession, what does that mean for interest rates?
Well, if you look at charts and graphs and you look at the gurus, they say 2 cycles of raw data that's declining puts us in a recession. So if you look at it that way, yes.
Technically, we are in a recession.
Yeah, so we're in a recession now. But to answer your question is, historically, again, as you know, real estate's in cycles. After a recession, rates decrease. So that's good news on the horizon.
Yes.
And historically, property rates have stayed stable and sometimes appreciated in value so that we don't have to worry about the repeat of 2008 crash.
Right. So if we keep hearing recession, it's not necessarily
panic.
Don't panic.
Yeah.
It actually could be a good thing for interest rates.
Yes.
And a good thing for the housing market in general.
Right.
So that being said, if what we're hearing different things about what's going to happen in 2023,
right?
Like specifically the third or fourth quarter.
Yes.
Some people are saying interest rates are going to go down quite a bit, maybe to 4.5%. What are you hearing, and what are your thoughts?
Yep. So there was an article CNN put out that Fannie Mae stated by next year, 2023, rates are going to drop to 4.5. Now, where they get that magic crystal ball that the rest of us don't have access to, I don't know. But again, I think cyclically they're looking at how the data up to a recession, after a recession, and that's where they're getting their predictions. So that's good news for buyers.
Absolutely.
That are buying today at the higher rates, that they have opportunity next summer, end of next year, to be able to refinance at those lower rates.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. So hopefully those predictions hold, and that's what happens. So, but what I do think will happen is if you see the interest rates come back down, you're definitely going to see a stabilizing of prices, possibly prices even starting to rise back up.
Right.
Of course, if we all had a crystal ball, we would know what's going to happen. But there is good news on the horizon.
Right.
But, if you're looking right now and you need to buy a home, like you need to have a place to live,
Right.
My feeling is if you're going to purchase now and you're staying in the home, then you should be okay. You can ride it out and refinance later on.
Right.
So as an example, my husband and I purchased our home in 2009. Things were starting on the downslide. Mm-hmm. We knew it was going to get worse, but we needed a place to live. We got a great deal on a house, and in the next couple of years, yes, the market went down, and that was okay because we weren't planning on going anywhere. And I think we were at like 5.75%. We ended up refinancing a couple of years ago at about 3%. And so my point is that don't try to time the market. If you need to buy a home, it's okay. You can buy now and refinance down the road.
Right.
Do you have any advice for buyers out there right now?
Well, you know that cute little saying that's out there that says, marry the house, date the rate, and then there's a new caveat, divorce your landlord.
Right.
So again, as Cynthia said, it's important that if you need a home to buy and it fits budget, you may have to adjust that budget, mind you, because with the rates going from 3% in the beginning of the year to in the 6s now, but if you need a home to buy, it's absolutely a good time to explore that and not to sit on the fence and time the market, because I don't care how good you are in this market, you're never going to be able to time it properly.
Right, exactly. There's no such thing. Everybody tries and it never works. Right. So And there are different things that you can ask your lender. Let's say, okay, I have a buyer and they want to buy a house today, but they're really not happy with this interest rate. Well, there are things that you can do with, programs that your company has where they can refinance next year or the year after at maybe get some discounted rates, not pay, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to refinance. I don't want to pay the fees to refinance. But you can work with your lender, and many lenders have programs where they will work with you at reduced fees, so you're not paying like you would if it was just like a normal refi.
Right.
You could get some reduced rates.
Yeah.
So,
and I think people need to understand is that when that relationship works is if you've worked with your lender and they understand your goals and what you're trying to accomplish in the future. If you came to me and said, I don't really like this, but I'm okay going forward, if you stick with that same lender and they understand your objectives, they're definitely going to work with you to be able to offer you those discounts in the future, because of course that's what it's about, is helping the client and maintaining that relationship. So what I think people do is that when the rates go down, they go bopping around and shopping around, and then they're like, oh my gosh, why is it so expensive? Instead of going back to the original person that they got the loan from to see how that can benefit them.
Right. And ask. You should always ask, because you don't know if you don't ask. If you just go down around to different lenders, they could come back to you and say, hey, what have you got? And you don't know because you didn't ask. Right. So it's definitely important to, keep a relationship with your lender and your realtor so that we can help you further down the line.
Yep. I call it our wealth building team, so that you can make sure that the asset is kept in the little family of your network, and making sure that you're watching the asset, I'm watching the debt, and together it's a nice marrying of the family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some great advice there. All right. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for joining me today. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.